Hello, everyone. My name is Satu Järvinen, and I'm delighted to be with you here today and talk a bit about the Finnish education system and what is the reason why Finland is such a leading country in education today. Unfortunately, we don't have too much time, so I won't have the opportunity to go through all the details behind this system, but at least get you a glimpse of how here in Finland we talk about education, how we view education, and hopefully get your interest risen towards a phenomenal education system that Finland has. So now in order to get started, let me just move myself away from here a bit. I'm going to be hiding here in the upper corner while we move along. First, let me tell you a few words about myself. So my name is Satu Järvinen. I've been working in education, research, development, and innovation here in Finland for the past 15 years. My main areas are teacher education and skilling of people, basically vocational education and training and skills development. And teacher development naturally ties to that. I'm also a long-term professional in the integration of ICT in education because that is the new era. That's where things are headed, and we need to embrace the new technologies, the new era, the new world into how we train our kids, our youth, and our adults as well. Africa is very special to me. I'm not a stranger. It's not my first time ever anywhere. I was brought up in Senegal in West Africa and moved to Finland when I was 13. And now, having been in Finland since the age of 13 as a teenager, having gained my professional knowledge and career here, what I want to do now is match the two, the Africa where I was brought up, my beautiful childhood, and the marvelous Finnish education system that I have benefited from after having moved here. So I'm working mainly in developing quality education in Africa through my company Skill Safari. But that's enough about me. First, I need to make sure that you know where Finland is. So we're right up there in the north between Russia and Sweden. So basically, Finland is a country between Eastern and Western Europe. The culture is unique. It's not really the Western, not really the Eastern. We're called the cultural lonely wolf. It's a special country. Small in population, there's only about 5.5 million people living in Finland, but we're huge in size. Not as big as the picture here shows. Google has a funny way of doing maps, but we are about the size of Germany, but much less people. Other than that, what you should know, it's a parliamentary democracy. We have a president, so forth, pretty good GDP. It's a country that is performing well, especially in education. Um, yeah, so now you know where we are, so we can look at some of the other data. Now, everybody knows Finland education because of PISA and because we've been doing so well in the PISA rankings. But the main thing you should understand, and the main point of this presentation, is to explain to you why. Our education system was not built to be famous and do well in PISA or in any other measurements. We had a different agenda on our head. PISA, in a sense, was an accident. It was a result of our work, but not something we intended for. And now, as we have been changing our system again, the big discussion is, should we aim for PISA or should we aim for what we value and think is important in education? And I'm very happy to say that Finland is still not aiming for great PISA results, but we're aiming for something different, something that, in my mind, is more valuable in education. You have to understand Finland's history a bit. We have been independent for 100 years, since 1917. And basically, after World War II, in 1945, is when we started building the country. We went through the same history as many other countries. We gained independence, we fell into civil war, we were fighting and battling and killing each other. After which, World War II, we started building the country, but we were poor. We were really a developing country after World War II. We were receiving aid and food from other countries. But we have made Finland transform in the past 75 or so years. But we started really low. But from the beginning, we have focused on education. So for Finland, education has always been a way of transforming our country from poverty to well-being. That's why we have focused on education. And the ability to give our people the skills and knowledge they need in order to lead successful lives has always been the driving agenda behind our education system and still is today. We don't have much natural resources, even though we're huge, but the weather does it, I guess. But in Finland, we think that the main natural resource we have is the heads of our people. So, through education, by training our people here, we have knowledge that is a natural resource. So, nowadays, we're doing pretty well. We're leading many of the international charts when innovation, knowledge, capacity is being measured. And nowadays, they even call us happy. So that's not bad either. Um, the guiding principle in education in Finland. Now, this is important. Every child should have exactly the same opportunity to learn, regardless of family background, income, or geographic location. Now, in Finland, when we say exactly the same opportunity for every child, that means exactly that. So you can live in a rural area, be from the poorest family, with your nearest city being hundreds of kilometers away, and we think that it's our job to give you the same opportunity to have the best teachers and a school and education available to you. And that nobody should have to pay for education because then it's not the same opportunity for everybody. This was done in order to give equal opportunities for everybody in Finland, in order to not have these classes of rich people going to the schools and the poor people staying behind with less opportunities, but in order to bring everybody to a higher knowledge and make better lives. This is something we believe in firmly. There's a lot of talk internationally about values in education and values based education, and I'm really happy to say that Finland is. If you look at our curriculum, Finland has one core curriculum developed by our government and distributed to all the schools. On the basis of this book, all the schools prepare their own curriculums, and it's the teachers who do it. But the basis is always the same. And when you start reading this book, and I'm a fan of this book, what you find first is the values. And these are the values of our education system as laid out in our curriculum. So the uniqueness of each pupil and right to good education. So we think that all the children are different, they learn in different ways, and they are interested in different topics. And we believe that we need to respect and appreciate the differences of all the children and that they have the right to learn. We also believe in humanity, general knowledge, and ability, equality, and democracy. Ability is important. Many school systems focus a lot on knowledge, you knowing things. We focus on your ability to apply knowledge, your ability to do things. And that's what we measure. That's why we don't have that many tests, because tests usually measure your knowledge, but we look at your ability. Then there's cultural diversity as richness. Sorry, but cultural diversity is hugely important in the world today. And then a necessity of a sustainable way of living. So this is sustainable development and sustainable development goals, which are core parts of the values that we want to teach our kids. A second important thing in our system, is how we view learning and how we view our children. So this is again from our curriculum. We believe that children, the pupils, are active actors. They learn to set goals. They learn to solve problems independently and together with others. So they are in charge and we facilitate. We believe that learning is an inseparable part of an individual's growth as a human being and the building of a decent life for the community. So here we go back to the why. It's decent life, it's the community, it's the larger audience. It's not something for me and my success, it's for the entire society. And then in learning, we believe that learning takes place in interaction and a lot of different interactions. And when we talk about interaction, that's when we talk about interaction between student and pupil, which is two ways. In many education systems, there's one way interaction where the teacher will be talking to the students, but there's very little coming back. And we don't believe that much in other systems in peer to peer learning. But in Finland, we believe that learning happens everywhere, in every single occasion where people interact with each other. That can be a moment of learning. So there's a very versatile and rich way of viewing learning. And when you think about your lives, you'll, you'll realize that that's how you keep on learning. You don't just learn when you go to these types of seminars or listen to an audio recording. You learn when you talk and interact with anything. It could be materials, it could be a video, but it's also every single person, not just your experts. And then lastly, transversal competencies. In our curriculum, we talk a lot about what is important for kids to learn. We have subjects, we have 21 subjects in total in our primary education, but the big focus is on these, the transversal competencies, because we believe that you have to grow up as a human being, and the subjects, even though they are important to learn, they are something you can also catch up on later. But we shouldn't focus on you knowing your math and everything by heart, but you as a human being. So we want to teach our kids to learn, to participate, to solve problems, to be culturally aware, to express themselves, taking care of themselves, managing daily life. That's basically your cooking, your cleaning, brushing your teeth and staying fit and healthy. Working life competence so that you're able to work. Entrepreneurship so that they can be job creators. Multiliteracy because there's so much information coming from your TV, your mobile phone, the internet, your mom, dad, cousin, teacher, able to tolerate and handle that, and ICT competence. So we focus a lot on these, and we mix these with then math, with Finnish language, with English, with geography, biology, physics, chemistry, you name it. So this is where we really focus on in our system. The math, science, technology, engineering, math, all of the topics, they come in a sense second. Even though naturally for the kids, when they go to school, they feel like they're going to math class and Finnish language class. But this is what we really, really want them to learn. So that's basically my few words. My company, Skill Safari, I want to use Finnish education know-how and the thinking, the knowledge for the benefits of Africa. It's a company, not an NGO. I'm always in the lookout for really good partners to work with, to hook up with, and create something meaningful in different countries. So I welcome all your contacts. There's a longer presentation about Skill Safari and what we do at bit.ly/slash Skill Safari May. So if you put that down, write it, I'll put it in the comments as well. So you'll find a bit more. But you're also always free to drop me a line at satu@skillsafari.io. You can also Google, I think you can find me, and on LinkedIn, Facebook, or the other media. But for now, I want to say thank you. If you have any further questions, anything, don't hesitate to drop me a line. I usually answer. And I just want to wish you a beautiful day. And thanks for watching my video. Cheers. Bye bye.